In kitchens everywhere, folks dare to ask, how does one make delicious pasta from scratch? But lo, here comes a man who'll show us how.
The Phantom of the Pasta is here to take a bow.
Hi, I'm here for the devotion for today's episode. We're talking about an attitude of gratitude. You know, it's Thanksgiving. We associate Thanksgiving with food, and we also associate it with family, which makes it even harder that we can't have our traditions and see our families like we normally do each time this year. And a lot of people have lost family this year. So it's just, 2020 is really hard. So I want to talk about thankfulness, an attitude of gratitude, the act of thanking a person. Studies have shown that it helps to make human connections when you're thankful or when you thank another person. It improves physical health. It improves psychological health. It enhances empathy, reduces aggression that you might feel towards another person, maybe that you don't know. It improves sleep. It improves self-esteem, and it improves mental strength. So you really can't go wrong having an attitude of gratitude. But I'm going to walk you through mine. So I'm going to say today, I'm thankful for today. I'm thankful for the beautiful weather. I'm thankful for my family. I'm thankful for my health. I'm thankful for my new marriage. And I'm thankful for you who have tuned in today. So please take this moment to think about what you're thankful for. And now let's get in the kitchen.
Hi, good morning, and welcome to Pandemic Pantry. I'm Kate Wheaton, Director of Hospitality.
I'm Adrienne Borden, Adrienne Borden Bush,
Yeah.
Director of 50 Plus Ministries at First United Methodist Church.
And today we are so excited that we have with us
James Seay, Director of Music here at First United Methodist Church.
The man, the myth, the legend, the phantom of the pasta.
the man in the mask. So today we are really excited. James is going to share some tips and tricks on pasta and how we shouldn't be scared to have a go at making it at home. I can honestly say I have not made pasta at home, so I'll be learning along. But I do have a fabulous sauce. We're going to do it's actually a beetroot sauce that we're going to do to go on top of that, which is going to be a lovely punch of color. We're going to make a fresh herb bread, and we're going to just toss together a really fun seasonal salad. So over to you, James.
Yeah.
All right. Hey guys. So we're going to talk a little bit about making pasta at home, fresh pasta. There's nothing like it. And it's actually really easy to do and kind of fun and messy and thing that you can have a lot of people to help you do. First and foremost, what you need is some flour. All-purpose flour will work; it's fine. But the best pasta flour, I think, is semolina flour. It's a little bit more rugged kind of flour, and so it actually makes the sauce stick to the pasta better. Semolina flour, right?
Can we show everyone what?
Yeah.
So this is just red milk, look, semolina flour. So Publix.
Yeah, Publix in the flour aisle. Look about halfway up, you'll find semolina flour.
And we also call it Durham wheat flour. That's what we call it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you'll just come to your workspace, take about 1.5 cups of semolina flour.
Oh, let me
Drop it down. So you take about 1.5 cups of semolina flour and drop it on your workspace. You can see it's really kind of coarse flour. And then you're going to salt it just a bit. And then mix that in just a little bit so you can get the salt in there, and then you get to do the fun part, right? And I always make a mess doing this, but here we go. Make your divot. You're gonna make a little hole in the middle of the flour.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then take 2 eggs. Try not to drop the entire shell into the egg.
Now, do the eggs need to be at room temperature or anything?
It helps when they are, honestly, and I go ahead and beat them ahead of time. It's just easier that way. Okay, and we're gonna drop that in our divot. And then we're going to take about, let's say about a tablespoon and a half of oil.
It's like a volcano.
Listen, what it's about to be is just a big eruption.
Oh,
And then we're going to take just a little bit of water.
warm or just?
Room temperature's fine. Just let's say about a tablespoon and a half water. And as you can see, I have not made my divot quite as big as I would like it to be. But you're going to start mixing the egg in, and you can use the sides
Oh, how fun.
of the flour to keep it together.
So I make a pastry called a pâte sucrée, which is a French dessert pastry, and we also make that on the countertop. And we were always told, this is a fun, I don't know if you can apply it to pasta, but when you're making it, you should always make it with one hand behind your back so that you can answer the phone, rock the baby,
Right.
multitask while one is cooking dinner. Isn't that fun?
So you're just going to bring it in and work it in.
Gosh, that's quite quickly coming together there.
Yeah, it comes in quick. And the big thing that I always say is, don't worry if your egg explodes over the top of the flour. Just bring it in and continue to work it.
That is cool.
And it will get there.
Now, is there an opportunity that you might decide to add a little more water, or do
You
you just
can.
keep going? And
I would say keep going first because it will take a little bit of working to get all of the flour incorporated and to get all of the wet spots and wet mixture in. But you need to knead for about 10 minutes really.
Wow.
You really want to work it and give it time to rest.
Okay.
and develop that gluten, I
Right.
guess, to make it nice and smooth.
Okay.
Wow. So should we let James knead? Well, we'll let James knead.
Do you need us to let you knead?
I think it is definitely at this point a need to knead, not a want.
Not a want. Well, and if you want, you can keep kneading and we can speed it up or whatever
Yes,
you
that
want.
would be great, because then we could put some words over the top at this point. And we'll just talk so that there's a like.
Right. So you see, it all kinds of starts to get incorporated in.
Yeah.
Come back and press down on the areas where you've still got a little bit of flour and a little bit of dough that's waiting to come in.
Wow. And that makes enough pasta to feed what? How
Oh
much does
gosh,
that-
I mean
that make it?
this will make enough for, depending on how much pasta you really want to have. And this should make enough for 4 people really.
So that's dinner for 4 right there.
Yeah.
And now another question: Can you make it to the dough stage and freeze it, or do you need to make it?
So,
to the
all right,
pasta
so
stage?
here's the big thing. I would say that when we say we like fresh pasta, it really does need to be fresh. So
Right.
it's such a quick process to do this. And yes, surely after you've kneaded it for 10 minutes, you're going to have to let it rest for 30. But here's the deal. You can take pasta that's been kneaded, some pasta dough that's been kneaded and ready to go and ready to roll out and make, but it really should only be in the fridge for about a day.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Right. So you could do it the night before.
Yeah.
Ready for
And just
Yeah.
know that when you take it out of the refrigerator, it's going to be mighty difficult to work. So let it warm up to kind of room temperature, and then get ready to roll it out.
And have you ever incorporated things like spinach into your dough?
Yeah. So
olives?
like my favorite dough, honestly, is just fresh cracked black pepper. It is so good. It is so good. But I've done spinach, and you can do all kinds of things. You can do herbs and.
I think you can even put the beetroot that we're using for the sauce today in there to actually
the
make pink
pasta.
pasta. And of course, there's squid ink, which I always think sounds super fun to me.
What's squid ink?
It's black. It's a black dye.
Oh.
So
Does it have a taste?
I've actually never tasted it. I think I tasted it. I look at it and go, that's cool.
It's
In
black.
theory.
But it's
Yeah.
black.
Yeah.
That's black pasta.
No, I think it's more of a colour than a taste.
Okay.
How cool is that?
Mm-hmm.
Come on, try read.
Is it? puff
Can I
ball.
have a try?
Go for it.
Oh gosh, that is hard.
It's part of too is that's semolina flour. It is tough stuff.
Oh yeah.
But it sets up better than normal
It
flour.
does.
Because it's more gritty or
Yeah, it's a much more coarse flour.
Yes, you can feel that texture in
Yeah,
there.
and so but the work on the front end makes for really good pasta on the back end.
Wow, so if you've had a tough day in the office,
just
you
get
come
in there.
home and
Yeah,
make
just
pasta. Well, you'll be glad to know that the bread that we're making is a kind of a cheating bread, so you will not have to knead twice for
That's
your
right.
happy supper. Okay, well, James has obviously got a lot more strength in his hands than I do, so we're just going to pass that ball back to you.
And if you do, and we said this earlier, if you do want to add a little bit of, if you need to add a little bit of moisture, actually a lot of times oil is a little bit better. Just a little bit.
Okay, and then a last question. Do you have to hand knead it? I mean, if people are challenged by that, could you use your hand?
So really good question. So no, you don't need to hand knead it. There are two ways you can do this. You can do a food processor, and what you'll do is you'll put your ingredients just in the food processor and run it until it gets it looks like almost like clumps of sand almost. It gets real grainy. And then you just take it out, ball it up, and put it up. Or you can do it in your mixer. This is I asked for a mixer for Christmas one year, and my mother said, "Well, I can get you this mixer," and I said, "But I want your mixer." And so that Christmas, her mixer had a bow on it. So this is my mother's mixer that I've had for the past, I don't know, maybe 10 years. But yeah, you can use a mixer with just the dough attachment and throw it in, or just the mixing attachment works fine too. Throw it in and throw in your ingredients in and turn it on low and just let it go.
Nice.
It'll do the same thing.
That's fantastic.
So once you've kneaded your dough for a bit, roll it up in a ball, and then you'll need some saran wrap. And you will
Surround wrap, as I called it for
Surround
years,
wrap.
because I didn't understand the American term. I was like, must be surround wrap, because we
You
call
will.
it cling film.
You will put it in your saran cling film.
Cling film, and you apparently called it surround wrap, which made perfect sense.
saran.
It's saran.
And you gotta let your tough dough ball here rest for about 30 minutes before you get ready to lay it out. And luckily we have some
Oh, movie magic.
already made this morning.
Yes.
Oh,
So once you let it rest for a bit,
Now, I'm going to ask an ignorant question. Why do you have to let it rest?
well, to be honest with you, I'm not really sure, except for the fact that it's just easier to roll out. But I mean, this is not something that's going to rise. It's not like that. We're not proofing.
I think it's the gluten, isn't it?
I think so.
I think
yeah.
it's developing the gluten and so that when you roll it, it doesn't keep shrinking back
Right,
in. It just makes
exactly.
it easier to work with.
So
Good to know.
you take it out, and you'll need your cutting board.
Okay.
If you got like a good butcher block, that usually is a little bit easier. But definitely, you'll need a cutting board, and you'll need a knife. And you'll need, where did our semolina go? Here we go.
Right there.
You'll need some more of your semolina flour.
Now, if you wanted to switch to normal flour here, could you?
You could. I like using semolina only because it actually works just as easy you're putting same flour on same flour, you know. And you're going to cut it into quarters.
I'm just gonna move this a little bit. Oh, look how smooth that is.
Yeah. And then you'll start working your one ball at a time here. and you want to get to something of an oval shape.
We need Lucas. He was good at rolling.
He was. If you missed it, he was with us live doing cookies on Monday, everybody. So you can go back and watch that one if you want. We have some hideous decorations and some beautiful ones.
They were all delicious. That's the main thing. And they were not hideous. They were unique.
Those swirly cookies, man. Oh, they were
good.
delicious.
They were good. I'm destined to make more of those for Christmas. Look at that.
All right, so
I'm loving this.
That's pretty.
one of the first things we're going to do, so we're going to start rolling this through our pasta maker. And there are lots of ways to do this. You don't have to have the pasta attachment to your KitchenAid mixer. There are lots of pasta machines that you can just roll out yourself by hand. I love this because it's the laziest and most efficient way to do this. But also, you can roll out pasta just using your butcher block. Just roll it out thin, and you can just cut it with a knife. You don't necessarily have to have a pasta maker. But I'm going to use the one we've got. So, what you want to do is put on the first attachment and set it to about the lowest level, which is the thickest pasta setting on most pasta makers. And you'll just roll it through. I needed to roll it out a little bit more.
Jill's mother used to make pasta. He would love it if I would make him make pasta. Wow.
Right. So, first time through, and sometimes it actually helps too. You can even drop just a little bit of flour even on the pasta right before we send it through. So first time through, fold it in thirds. Okay.
We love it.
Very exciting.
Beautiful.
And then I fold it one more time. So what we're looking to do is get it good and incorporated. And remember that there's no one right way to do this.
It's going to taste good no matter what. Need another hand yet?
Feed it back through again.
Oh, very smooth.
Fold one more time. What we're trying to do is get pasta good and
My mouth is already watering. I love it. I love fresh pasta.
Yes.
That's a happy piece.
sure enough put it through the side.
Oh yes, that's a very happy piece of pasta.
Mm-hmm.
All right, now we go from 1 to 2.
Okay. Ooh, beautiful.
And feed it back again. 3.
Are we going to go all the way up to 8?
I usually go to like 6.
Okay.
But if you're doing ravioli, yeah,
Yeah.
sure enough. Because you want, you know, the old adage is that you want ravioli when you use your hands now. You want ravioli to be so thin that you can read a newspaper through it.
So I'm beginning to be able to already see my fingers through here.
Now we're going to go to 4.
And
I see.
Oh, yeah.
the higher the number, the thinner
Oh, it's quite fast.
making it, right?
Yes.
Oh yeah, the higher the number, the thinner the pasta.
And again at that one.
I usually do 2 on each setting.
Oh, look at this. Well, now I know what I want Santa to bring me.
And
Have the
now
candle,
we're
I
going to
just
go
need
from 4 to
that.
5.
Though I do truly believe that on the side at home we have a pasta maker that my mother-in-law gave me, where you sort of put everything in the top and it makes it, and then you set the button and it spits out pasta the other end. Oh, I wrinkled it.
It's okay. It's gonna pull it all together. And at this point, I think we are thin enough that we can go ahead
See
and
my hand
make.
through there?
Yes.
We can go ahead and make some pasta. Cut some pasta.
Yay!
So you take your attachment off, and I've got a spaghetti attachment and a fettuccine attachment. I think let's do some fettuccine.
I think
Yes.
it'll showcase the pretty sauce.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't really like
And we're
spaghetti.
going to do this really slow because when we catch it, the big thing about fresh pasta is, unlike your spaghetti that you get in the box, you have to store it very quickly. Otherwise, it gets really, it actually becomes very sticky, and it will stick to itself, and then what you'll get is not pasta, but clumps of pasta.
So we're going to lay it over the rolling pin or something to like, hold it up?
Yep.
Wow.
So as it comes out, I'm going to try to catch it, and then we're going to pump it together.
All right, you trust me?
I trust you.
Oh my goodness. Just like in the movie.
Oh my gosh, that's beautiful.
Gordon Ramsay would be so proud.
That looks so cool.
Wow,
All
look
right,
at
we've got some
that.
hanging pasta, and we're going to take it off the rolling pin, and we're going to do a little curlicue, and throw a little, and we can throw our pasta from right there, throw a little flour on it,
A little nest.
and make our little pasta nest.
Oh, I love it.
Awesome.
That's truly exciting.
And now our pasta is ready to go into the water whenever we're ready. I would say don't leave it out too long. You don't want to leave fresh pasta out like this too long. If you have a pasta hanging rack, that's always kind of neat too, but this works perfectly well.
And in fact, while we've been working, James has had a pot of boiling water on the stove. So once you get to that point with your pasta making, you can just, we've got about 2/3 of a pot is salted and a little bit of oil.
And then right before you throw in some more.
Awesome. Well, while that is doing that and James is working on his pasta, I'm going to show you how to make a garlic bread to go with that. So, as I say, we're doing a cheating garlic bread. So we have got a baguette. So honestly, the older it is, the better. So if you buy 2, you eat one fresh the first day, the second day, this is a great way to use that up. And I actually want to use my bread knife. So we are going to use a bread knife. We've got some softened butter in here, and we're going to make a garlic and herb butter to make our own bread. So big piece of foil, and just lay that out on your counter space. Got a great big counter space here, which is wonderful to work on. I'm going to slice my bread, and good to slice it on a sort of 45-degree angle. Just gives you a prettier slice than just chonking through like this. So angle, more attractive. I'm just going to slice my way along here. And even though it doesn't fit on your board, perhaps try and keep it in the order that you sliced it, because it will fit back together better. So we'll just keep going. Not too fat. I would say that's about 1 centimeter, so just under
An inch?
About half an inch.
Half an inch.
All the way to the end. And you know, don't discard the end either. Keep that as part of your deal. So move that there. And then in our butter, I've just got some garlic. There's no sort of recipe per se, just as much or as little as you want. But I'm going to put, oh, these are quite big. Look at those cloves of garlic. We're probably going to go ahead and put 3 little cloves of garlic. If you've got garlic paste, you can use that. The cheaty one in a jar, Adrian, works just fine.
Thank you, Kate.
You're welcome. We are amongst friends.
Well,
you know.
my Aunt Martha Lynn goes to our church, and I love her. She's the one who knows how to fold a fitted sheet, and you can't even tell it's a fitted sheet when it's folded after she's folded it. So once I saw that she bought minced garlic, and I felt like it gave me permission, since she's such a domestic goddess, that I could use minced garlic in a jar.
Okay, and we are just going to roughly chop these. Now, if you had a mixer, what do you call it? I call it a Magimix. You call it
food processor.
A food processor. You could just put your butter in there. You could I would do your garlic in there first. You could put your herbs in, then add your butter. And just take out this chopping stage. And this is something that, you know, it's quite nice to have on hand if you've ever got some extra herbs or garlic lying around. You can just make some butter, stick it in the freezer, and then it's there when you need it. But we're going to add that to our butter. And then I've got some fresh rosemary, some fresh thyme, and some fresh parsley. Gosh, look how they concertinaed that little chap. So we don't want the woody stalk. We're just going to pop off those leaves.
You make it look so easy.
And then you'll do that a couple of times. Smells lovely. And if you don't have fresh herbs, or you don't want to bother getting them, the one thing that you might decide to get would be the parsley. Because if you use the parsley with dried herbs, it just kind of gives it like an extra cheat, gives it a bit of a zing, and adds a pop of fresh color without you having to spend money, you know, on all the different varieties of herbs.
That garlic smells so good.
And then I've got some thyme in here too, which again, is a little more fiddly to get off the stalk. The fresher it is, I think the better it works. So taking that off. Oh gosh, can you smell that now? I'm looking forward to using thyme again on our turkey next week. By now you're all in the last throes of Thanksgiving preparations.
Yes, this will be the 23rd for you.
And I think the pasta is something lovely for you to consider, you know, after Thanksgiving. It's a wonderful way to use up some of your turkey. You could shred some turkey into the pasta with some fresh sauce.
I'm going to make turkey ravioli.
Are you?
Make turkey ravioli. Gosh, yum. Okay, so in go all my lovely herbs. Just going to put a little bit more thyme in there because I have it. And I'm just going to borrow a little of James's salt.
Go for it.
Do you have a pepper handy? Oh, I see a pepper. So much fun being someone else's kitchen.
I know.
There we go. A little of each. That's it. Then we're just simply going to mix that all together. How easy that is.
That looks gorgeous.
Right. And so then this is the fun bit. You know, lots of hands in the children can do this part. We're just going to slather it on. And let's do it this way. And build ourselves just a little tower.
Tower of power.
A tower of power. Oh, but that's why you have to take your own advice and keep it in the right order. You get rather an odd shaped. See, I'm not listening to myself. But
That's okay. You have a do-over with this next batch.
yeah, let's switch it over. There we go. That way. And then the same thing, just layering butter and bread. You know, there's no finesse to it. As we all know, more butter is better.
Oh, yes it is.
No one ever said, oh, that's too much butter.
Not in the South.
Not in the South, that's for sure.
Yes, and you'll see in the dressing later, Kate held up how much sugar we put in the dressing, and she said, this is a Southern recipe, as you can see.
And then you're just going to load that up. And depending on how you've judged the width of your foil, you know, don't just keep going if it's not going to fit ultimately. Now again, you can do all this, wrap it and put it in the freezer, and then it's a really easy thing to pop out with a big salad or whatever, really. Probably be quite nice with Thanksgiving. Although I get in trouble when I try and change those traditions. All right, and there's our little end pieces. I'm going to go on. I think I'm just going to be able to squeeze that one more layer in there. And then waste not, want not. Whatever you've got left in your bowl,
Slather it on top.
slather it on the top.
Work this dough.
And this is why garlic bread is so good.
Yes.
All right, and then to bake it, you just want to pop your ends up, bring your top together. So you want to cover it to start with, but you know you want to be able to reach in the oven and just pop it open towards the end. So just give it a little bit of a pleat. And there it is. We're going to slide it into an oven. We've pre-baked an oven to 350, baking sheet, no baking sheet, all good. So in it goes.
It's coming down, yay!
Oh, good.
Wow, back to James. Look at that. So, well, we focus back over there. I'm going to tidy up a little bit and get ready to make some sauce.
Yes.
Look at this beauty. So, we have mastered this, and now we're going to feed it through. The magic is going to happen. You get to watch it one more time.
And we're going
All
to catch
right, ready? Oh, look at that. You gonna hold this one too?
It actually takes 4 hands, we're learning.
It really does.
You need a friend to help you. Because those are long strands.
All right. Actually, you're in great shape.
Look at that.
Beautiful!
Now we're going to pop together just some super easy sauce to go with our lovely fresh pasta. So we peeled and cooked some beetroot. So we've got that lovely bright red color. They're nice and hot. I've kept some of the cooking liquid back just in case we want to let our pasta down. But that lovely bright red is right there. And into there we are just going to put some olive oil. And some salt. Ooh, and didn't I say it's going to have 4 cloves of garlic? So let's do that real quick. You can't really eat pasta without garlic, right? I think
Lots
that's
of
synonymous for the two. And on my chopping board here, you can also see I've got a little pile of dill. So this sauce is going to have fresh dill, lemon, and we're using a feta cheese to toss over the top of the pasta, and then this is just a little extra to sprinkle. I've got myself in a jam behind all these things. All right. 1, 2, 3. Well, these are quite large. We'll just go with the 3. Pop, pop, pop. And again, I've just top and tailed them. The machine is going to do most of the work for me. But it's going to crush. Pop the skins off. The garlic bread smells divine. I can hear the sound of the boiling water in the background. Gosh, sorry, a bit slow with the garlic. We're getting there. Okay, roughly chopped. A little bit of skin still on there. And this one, just to help the machine along. Golly. Okay, got it. In it goes. Pop the lid on. All right, James, wish me luck. Look at the color of that pretty sauce. So I'm just going to blitz it one more time, but then that is ready to go. Maybe a little more olive oil.
What happens when you don't register for the good blender when you get married?
No, it worked beautifully. But the fun thing about this sauce is you could go on and make a double quantity of this, just like, you could with your pasta. Put your pasta in the freezer after you've, stripped it and cut it. You can also bag up this sauce so that you are ready to go. But once James's lovely hot pasta comes out, we will tip our pretty sauce over the top. So yay, we are getting closer to dinner time.
And we're ready to drop some pasta in the boiling water. So first things first, a little bit of oil in our water. So remember, the water is already pre-salted. And we're going to drop some pasta. Why don't we turn on the light here?
Clap on.
Oh, look at that.
We can drop some more.
Oh, and I'm going to check my bread. How many minutes should that cook, James?
I like it al dente. It only takes a few minutes. I keep a close eye on it and give it a good stir. Make sure that our pasta is not sticking. But fresh pasta doesn't take very long to cook. So
Really?
Give it just a few minutes.
How's the bread, Kate?
Oh, the bread is looking good. James, do you have a trivet or something, or can I put it straight
Actually,
down?
yes, while we do.
I can use that board. That's perfect.
Oh,
Excellent.
Perfect.
We're just going to let that sit for a little second. Looking good.
And our pasta is looking good.
wow, that looks good.
Wow.
Now, when you say a few minutes, what does that really mean?
Honestly, I would only give it about 3 or 4 minutes. Yeah, I don't think that you don't want to overcook. I like al dente pasta. I know a lot of people do, but you especially don't want to overcook fresh pasta. You really can't take it very well.
Okay.
thought we're going to just toss together a wintry salad. We have got kind of a mixture of fruits and cheeses to go in there, but I thought we would do a homemade poppy seed dressing.
Wait.
So we've got 2/3 of a cup of mayonnaise. Flicked it right in the bowl there. We have using apple cider vinegar, and I believe we've got 6 tablespoons, but we will have that recipe up there for you. It tells me just to pop it all in. We have got 1/2 cup of milk. I'm going to give that a little bit of a whisk. There are no complications. You're just whisking away. Now this is where it's the southern dressing comes in, because we now have sugar. Oh, I can get the shot with you because there it goes. Hey, come on in.
What you doing?
Look. Come and be my whisker upper.
Oh,
Be whisker upper. And then poppy seeds. I think we've got 6 teaspoons of poppy seeds.
Ooh.
So it's a fairly light dressing. There we go. Oh, good. Well, I've got another pair of hands. I'm just going to crack on and get some of these salad bits together.
Looking interesting.
All right, so we've just got some fresh romaine lettuce, which is still super good this time of year. Big salad bowl, and we are just going to layer this up in the salad. So you can probably just slide that over, and I can pull this forward.
Perfect.
Very good. Let's just slide him over here. Yes, Adrian, come on in. Do you want to? Is there something you need to tell us about that we have going on at all this week?
Oh Lord, yes. Well, we have the safari coming up, which we're really excited about. We're going to go see the safari lights in Hope Hall. We went to the safari earlier this year. It was super fun. So this will be fun too, but it's a little different because it'll be at 5 o'clock on December 16th, which is a Wednesday. And if you want to sign up, go to fumcmontgomery.org/safari of lights, and you can sign up, and we will drive through at 5 in our separate cars, and there will be twinkling lights everywhere, and thousands of twinkly lights within the 1 mile drive in the outdoor park. And then you can walk through the candy cane forest after the drive, and then you can have complimentary hot chocolate. And Michelle from the kitchen is going to make us some delicious sweet treats. We don't know what yet. And there will also be a petting zoo.
Oh, there is a petting zoo open.
Yeah,
The petting zoo is so much fun. If you haven't been, I really enjoyed the petting zoo. Oh, well, that sounds like a great adventure.
Good. This is a fresh looking salad.
And then next week we'll have our last, well, not next week,
Yes.
we'll wish you a happy Thanksgiving, but the week after that will be our Christmas special.
Yes.
So we're going to talk about just some fun make-at-home gifts, and you can probably just add fun make-at-home pasta to that
That's
list
right.
too.
You could give people pasta, the gift of pasta.
Couldn't you?
You
Wouldn't
could
that
do
be
red
lovely?
beetroot pasta,
You
and
could.
you could do green spinach pasta.
We're just pushing that bar a little bit higher, and then
We
you can
are.
do homemade sauce, and then and 2 French breads. How about that? Perfect gift.
How about it?
I'd be ready for it.
Me too.
Any day you want to drop it off?
Yeah, I mean, same.
We're ready, James. We're ready.
And we also have in December, Bama Skiffle, my family band. You may have seen us play at the Bazaar. We also have played at the Pumpkin Fest, and it's kind of a bluegrass feel. Skiffle music is kind of what the Beatles jumped off from. So I don't want to mislead you by saying we sound like the Beatles. We don't. We're more bluegrass, but it'll be called Skiffle Christmas, and we're going to be on the front lawn of the church, where you can come and bring a chair and a mask and sit in the park and enjoy the music at 2 o'clock on December 13th, which is a Sunday. So please come and have some Christmas cheer with us.
Great way to feel festive.
Yeah,
And
we
bring
have
your
some-
dog.
Yeah.
Be
Yeah, bring your
outside.
doggy.
I think that's lovely to have a pet with you. All right, so really this salad is not a recipe. It's just things that I think look pretty. It's loosely based on a Caesar salad. So we're going to do some croutons. And then, of course, we've got some shaved Parmesan.
Yum.
I didn't shave my own. But you
you could if you wanted
you could just grate some, or do you say shred? the Parmesan on.
Oh, this is going to be pretty
Is
salad.
that going to be pretty? Now it's such a great time of year for citrus. We've actually got some red grapefruit that
Yes.
we will have shown you how to
Yes.
do.
How to prepare the grapefruit for the salad.
Now this salad you don't want to do so far in advance because we're putting the wet fruit with the croutons and you don't want a soggy crouton. But look at that for color. That's going to be pretty.
Pretty.
And I do like to layer my salads up and then as people dig into them, you know, it all kind of mixes together. Blackberries would be good on here. We've got blueberries today. You could put fresh pomegranate seeds. I think that would be lovely to give it an extra pop. I've also got, if you've got anybody in your house that's doesn't mind nuts, I love nuts in here. So I'm going to add some toasted pecans onto the top of
A
that.
little crunch.
Yes, you could use pistachios, you could use almonds. All of that is good. Look at that. And then just a tiny bit of little bit of red onion. Green onion's nice too, but I like red on here. So just the thinnest little shreds that you can do.
Red onion's so good.
There it goes.
There's a lot of good smells in this kitchen right now, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. That's true. All right, and then as we get ready to serve, we're going to pop that poppy seed dressing over the top. But I'm going to hold fire for a minute until we bring everything together at the end.
We'll be back. We can speed this up if we want to. I'm just gonna roll the pasta.
While James is doing that, my handy dandy little tool. We have our bowl ready.
We're almost there.
Here we go.
Oh yay! It's all coming together.
It's almost there. When we were designing this kitchen, I had the echo of my mother for years and years and years. She said, "I long for a kitchen that can handle more than one butt in it at a time." And so she always used to call her kitchen a one-butt kitchen.
A one-butt kitchen. That's
We must
hilarious.
have more than one butt kitchen.
This is the perfect kitchen for
This
spacing
is.
and cooking together as a family. This is really
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
And we are family, one big family.
Yeah.
For real.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is a fun place to cook,
Yes.
especially when you have folks here and you're watching.
Yes,
TV.
they've
So-
got a good open plan.
Well, I'm getting my fork ready.
Ooh.
Look at it.
Oh, it's
like
beautiful.
pasta, Jane.
Not there.
How is it?
We're about there.
Oh,
How
yummy.
exciting.
We there?
I think so. I mean, that's al dente to me. It's fresh.
Oh, James.
Simple.
And changed forever.
It definitely has a different taste. I don't know where the strainer is.
More teamwork over here.
I want the little bits out here.
Do you want to still pour through? I've got it. If you do. Doing the pasta shuffle.
Steamy.
Look at that.
Right.
Do you rinse or do you just go straight in?
I go straight in. I like the pasta water.
Oh, look at that. How pretty is that? We are just gonna do a little
Gorgeous.
now. We're gonna toss in some of our beetroot. Oh, how pretty that's gonna be. Might need another. Oh yes, look at that. Just gonna toss that in. how pretty that's going to be.
Beautiful.
And then here we've got our topping. It's going to go through there. It's good enough to eat, folks. Look at that. Oh,
Oh, it smells so good too. I love the smell of the beetroot.
And it looks beautiful. And there's a tiny bit more to go on the top. So saying you can shred a little bit of your leftover chicken in there. But here, let's bring together all our bits and pieces. James, that looks amazing. The dressing, you could put some in a little jug. We're just going to drizzle some over the top, work its way down through our pretty salad. And then fresh out of the oven. Dun, dun, dun. Well, obviously you could pop it in a pretty bowl, but here is our yummy bread that you could just tumble into a bowl. Super easy, smells fantastic. I think we're ready to eat.
I will take this.
Yes.
Well, we are so glad that you checked in with us today. I've certainly learned something, and I hope you have too. Goodbye.
Thanks, guys.
In all your fantasies, you never knew that all you needed to make pasta was here with you. And in my kitchen here, I've shown you how the phantom of the pasta can be. Now take your bow.